our last question for this Q&A today is, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would give to the new students? So for me, I would say it's important that you make the most out of your university experience, that it might be a bit awkward at first, but you just need to put yourself out there. So, turn your camera on in class, introduce yourself to your peers and your lecturers. A friend can just be one hello away. Join a club or a society and attend social events, even those that are online, because these are the times that you'll remember when you've long left the campus for the final time. So that's my advice. Ruby, do you have any advice that you'd give to first year students?
Yes, my advice would be to be kind to yourself. You may not get it right in your degree the first time around. That's okay. You may fail a subject and go part-time. That's okay. Everything happens for a reason, and you will end up on the right track. And I know you're going to go through a lot of tough times during these years, but the good by far outweigh the bad. And yeah.
Thank you. Angela, do you have any advice for new students?
I have advice that I was given during my tertiary preparation course by one of the lecturers, and it was to just dive in. I was told when I start my degree, finishing the tertiary prep, just literally was told to just dive in. And what he meant by that was dive into the whole university experience. What makes us different at Notre Dame compared to some other universities is that we are a smaller university. And, it's not just about the piece of paper that we get at the end of our degree, which is majority of the time what you're focused on, right? You're focused on, will this, I want to finish this degree in 3 years. I want to get out of university. I want my piece of paper. I want to move on to my job and my life. But you then, because you're so focused on that, you don't actually experience that time there, the 3 years in there. And like Ruby said, so be it that you go and move on to part-time and move, it takes you a little bit longer. So for me, I see that as an experience, you get to experience more people over a longer period of time, more lecturers, more experiences, more social events. I see the positives in that. And the important thing would just experience it. Just be in that moment and experience everything that you're currently going through. And I did what Ruby said. I failed a couple of units in a degree that I was so set on psychology, applied psychology, counseling, and I failed on a couple of subjects during the COVID period, which made me rethink the whole process of why I was at university. And I changed from psychology to business. And it was the best decision. It was a very hard road to get there, but it was the best decision I made. And that was just because I wasn't focused on getting my piece of paper at the end. I was focusing on the current experience. I was hating it. I was hating the units I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. And so I changed. So I just dive in and experience it all.
Yeah, I agree. And it goes quick. I mean, this is my fifth and final. And I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. So I think it's absolutely very important to make the most out of it. Honey, do you have any advice?
Yes, I do. A few people mentioned this before, but my biggest piece of advice, especially in first year, is really don't be afraid to ask for help. And it's not just from the lecturers and the tutors who are so important to ask for help from, but once you make friends, your partners in group presentations. I don't know if all the schools have this, but in nursing, we have mentors, and Kate was actually my mentor. And poor Kate, because I bothered her so many times, asking her so many questions, but she really, really helped me. And I think it's important to know that there are these support systems. Besides, obviously, if you're struggling with mental health, there's the counselling. But if you're struggling with your subjects and your coursework, there are so many people that you can ask for help, and really don't be afraid to, because in the end, it'll benefit you. And some people actually really like helping, and they like giving over advice. And so, you're helping them too. And yeah, so really just don't be afraid, don't be embarrassed. It's important to ask for help.
Yeah, and I think that's really important advice that you've given us, honey. Thank you. Kate, do you have anything that you'd like to tell our new students?
Mainly just yeah, just try and enjoy yourself, because you have the rest of your life to work. This time is really, I don't know, it's really precious, and you'll probably look back on it and, you know, you don't want to have regrets. So, you know, as Angela said, dive in, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. And you use that time as well to start thinking about, you know, you said you're going to work for the rest of your life. This is a time where you get to explore the things that you're passionate about, figure out what you're not passionate about, find ways to cope, because, you know, any job, you know, life, there are bits which are boring and tedious and you have to get through them. And the way you do that is by finding balance and having things to look forward to, and sort of use this time to refine that so that you can, you know, feel fulfilled. And yeah, I think that's it. And it is all about, and I, you know, my personal view is whether you're at uni or whether you're at work, the point I got to is it's all about the people that are around you. So invest in those relationships as well, whether it's you're helping someone or you're asking for help, build those relationships, invest in them. And then, you know, hopefully you'll have them for life.
That's really great. Thank you. And finally, Zoe, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to the new students?
I think my biggest piece of advice is to just remember that you're so much more than a number or a grade that you get. And I say that because I've definitely received marks or, you know, results that I've been disappointed in, I've cried about, I've been upset with, because, you know, you put a lot of effort into it. But that's not the end of it. And I, you know, there's so much more to life than, you know, good grades. You know, keep yourself busy, do things that you love, don't lose yourself so much in studying. And I think also maybe it's better to do a bad job or not try as hard than to not do any, like not even attempt something at all. So like just try your hardest and, you know, do something.
Yeah, I think they're really, that's some really important advice, and I think it's particularly poignant in the online learning sphere. So thank you very much, Zoe.